Understanding adequate, meaning usage and common mistakes. Imagine you're preparing a meal for some friends. You've got enough food, but not in abundance. The plates aren't overflowing, but no one will go hungry. This scenario perfectly illustrates our word for today, adequate. Word type. Adequate is an adjective. Meaning, adequate means satisfactory or acceptable in quality or quantity, but not outstanding or excessive. It describes something that is sufficient for a particular purpose or requirement, meeting the minimum standards without being exceptional. Word history. The word adequate comes from the Latin word adequatus, which means to make equal to. It entered the English language in the early 17th century. Antonyms. Some antonyms or opposite words for adequate include insufficient, inadequate, unsatisfactory, and subpar. Synonyms. Synonyms or similar words for adequate include sufficient, satisfactory, acceptable, passable, and ample. Examples used in sentences. Let's look at how we can use adequate in different contexts. First, the hotel room was adequate for our needs, with a comfortable bed and a clean bathroom. Second, the company provided adequate training for new employees covering all the basics of the job. Third, although his performance was adequate, the manager felt he could have done better with more effort. Fourth, the government claims that adequate measures have been taken to prevent flooding in the region. Common errors in use. One common mistake is confusing adequate with good or excellent. Remember, adequate implies meeting minimum requirements, not exceeding them. For instance, saying the restaurant's food was adequate is not a compliment. It suggests the food was just satisfactory, not particularly enjoyable. Another error is using adequate when describing something that should be of high quality. For example, surgeons need more than adequate skills. They need exceptional ones. Lastly, be careful not to use adequate when you mean abundant or plentiful. Saying we have adequate food for the party might suggest you barely have enough, which could worry your guests. To wrap up, adequate is a useful word for describing things that are sufficient but not outstanding. It's particularly valuable in IELTS writing and speaking tasks when you need to express that something meets basic requirements without being exceptional. Remember, adequate isn't a word of high praise, but it's not negative either. It simply means enough or satisfactory. Keep practicing with this word and you'll find it adequately useful in your IELTS exam and beyond.